Truthsharks Radio. What up with my peeps in these podcasting streets? Welcome to Black by Color Only, a division of the Truthsharks Radio Network. Let me get my stuff together here. Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. It looks like my microphone was off. I don't know why my microphone is off, but anyway, let me start this over again. Earlier today I had to meet another engagement in Greensboro, and I had to, a couple of friends of mine. They wanted me to bring the word they wanted me to bring the word message from the Word of God, and I think I did pretty well. Once again, I'll let God judge me on that one. But I had to go out there. I'm just getting back a couple of hours ago. Then I had to take my wife to work because, She's working part-time at Target. Excuse me. She's working part-time at Target, and had to come back, and now I'm here with you good people, and hoping today finds you all doing well. It's been cold here, and I was contemplating whether to do a show today, because of my earlier engagement. And I said, you know what? I don't want to do consecutive weeks. And so I said, hey, I'm going to, and be honest with you, I thought I wouldn't have a subject for this show. But lo and behold, these past 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever, things have just blown up like crazy. And basically what we see going on now is a good example, is a major example of how hypocritic those on the left really are. I mean, for real. There was a caricature, a video of the Obamas, and it showed the Obamas as a couple of apes, and it showed other Democrats as various animals, and then it showed Donald Trump as a lion. Excuse me. Now, the part that everybody is so focused on is the Obamas being portrayed as apes. And the thing that really gets me about this is how many conservative people have fallen into this thing too. And I saw the video. Well, my wife, she informed me of it, and my wife was like, honey, it really isn't anything to make anything about. And I saw it, and I was like, okay. um I don't, and of course you get the cries of racism. This is racist. This shows you how racist Donald Trump is, and this gives me, memories of people who were calling Charlie Kirk a racist because he was making fun. He was making fun of four black women. One of them was Michelle Obama. Another was Kamala Harris. I forgot who the other two were. And they were saying that, this shows that he's racist because he's talking about these women and he's talking about black women. But the thing about it was he wasn't talking about all black women. He didn't say all black women are lower than he is or anything like that. He was saying those four black women were dense as a ton of lead. And see, that's what I'm seeing here. Um, Folks in the apostles of blackness, they have this thing: if you denigrate one black person, you denigrate all of us. And they get into this mode where they act like they're speaking for everybody, and black people have to go through this and yada yada yada. And I saw it and I'm like, y'all, I really don't care. I really don't care how the Obamas were depicted. I really don't. I don't look at it as racist. Some people said it was done in bad taste, and it probably was, but I don't care. I really don't. I'm like, I mean, I woke up this morning and the sun was shining brighter than I've seen it in a long time. And the skies were blue. You had a wind blowing and you could feel the cold air and everything. And I was just glad to be alive this morning. And everybody is up in arms. And the thing that gets me is you got some conservatives. Tim Scott down in South Carolina, he's talking about it. He's saying how racist it is. And I've said before that I really don't know about Tim Scott. He seems to still have a little inkling of race in him, race loyalty in him or something. Hey, if I'm wrong, just let me know. But I saw, when I saw the video, I was like, I don't care, really. I really don't. It doesn't bother me. If it is racist, it still doesn't bother me. People talk about a lot of times I go onto YouTube, try to find these classic cartoons to watch, and some of them you can't watch because they say they were racist. And one of them is an old Bugs Bunny cartoon called All This and Rabbit Stew. All This and Rabbit Stew, excuse me. And it portrays a black character with big lips, and you know the antics that go on in these Bugs Bunny. You know, Bugs Bunny outsmarts them, and some hijinks ensues and whatever. And a lot of people don't like that cartoon because they don't like the depiction of that black character. Now, is that cartoon racist? It probably is. It could be. But here's the thing about me, I don't care. I really, really do not care if a cartoon is racist or anything like that. If it is racist, shame on the person who did it, but I'm just enjoying the cartoon for the sake of the cartoon. Now, that cartoon, All This and Rabbit Stew, it's not one of the best Bugs Bunny cartoons, but I still find it a little bit enjoyable. And the first time I watched it, I think it was in the 70s. And when I saw it again in the 90s, I was amazed that the NAACP hadn't said anything about it. But lo and behold, they did, and they think it should be preempted. And I'm like, y'all, it doesn't bother, and see, they come up here, the wokeists, they have this thing, at certain of their core, if certain people in their core feel something is racist or whatever, they want to ban it. Whether you're a black person who doesn't uh, speak out against it or anything, they say we're going to be your black voices and we're going to do this for you. I don't need you doing anything for me. If if I want something to be banned, I'll ban it at home. I don't need you speaking for me. There's a movie by Disney called Song of the South. You can't get that movie because they say it depicts racism. Now, I would like to see the movie myself because I never seen it. But I like to see the movie myself and come to my own conclusion. But see, this is the problem. The apostles of blackness, they act as if they are the gods of the black people. They are the elites. And if they think something is offensive, if it's offensive to them, they think it's offensive to all black people. And me, I'm the type of person, I'm like, well, let me see it. Let me come to my conclusions. I don't need you coming to a conclusion for me. Okay? I don't need you to step up and tell me, okay, this is bad for you. So we're gonna do something about this. I don't need you doing that for me. And it's things like this that tick me off, because I really wanted to see Song of the South, see what was so bad about the movie. People say it depicts slavery and everything. And see, with the atmosphere we have today, a lot of claims of racism and being bandied about and everything. And 9 times out of 10, these claims of racism turn out to be hoaxes. So even if something is racist, I tend not to believe it at face value because we throw that word around so much. We basically took the power from that word racism. No one knows what racism really is. They think if you're liberal and someone disagrees with you, that person who disagrees with you is a racist. We use it all the time. If someone doesn't agree with our point of view, oh, you're a racist. You're a racist. Or something happens or what? Oh, that's racism. That's racism. but we destroyed the meaning of that word. And it's become so easy to call anyone a racist. Anyone, if you look at somebody wrong, oh, that's racist. Cut someone off in on the freeway. Oh, that's racist. You can't agree on what color to paint the house. Oh, that's racist. Things like that. And it gets on my nerve. It really does get on my nerve. It grates on my nerves. But as long as God gives me a voice, I'm going to speak out against it on this program. And I want to tell all the liberal white folks and members of the Apostles of Blackness, you all don't speak for me. Don't say, I don't need you to patronize me. I don't need you telling me, hey, I'm going to be your champion. I don't want you to be my champion. I didn't ask you to be my champion, and I don't want you to be my champion. I have my own life to live. I am an individual. And let me languish in my individuality. But reason why I say this is hypocritical about how the outrage that's going on about this video that's been circulating. If you all are listening to this program live, go to my chat room, and I'll show you some pictures that people have put up of Donald Trump. Two of the pictures depict Donald Trump as some kind of simian. I think one looks like a baboon, and the other is clearly taken from King Kong on the Empire State Building, swatting at planes and stuff like that. There's another one that depicts Donald Trump as a pig, and I'm not so sure if this was posted by anyone on the left, but there's a picture of a cracker with Donald Trump's face embedded in it. Now, these pictures were up, at least the first three I mentioned. These pictures were up before that video of the Obamas and their Democrat lackeys went viral. But nobody says anything about these. And see, this tells you where their allegiances lie. They don't care about the truth. They only care about the truth when it refers to when they can point it out. That's the only time they care about the truth. But you make a caricature about somebody they don't like, somebody they hate. Oh yeah, oh that's fine. All bets are off. But when someone does the same back to them, all of a sudden there's a problem with it. I really don't care. I saw the ones that they did of Donald Trump. And I was like, okay, a couple of them, I was like, okay, that's all right, But the thing that bothers me about those pictures is the hypocrisy that is attached to them. We can sit here and make fun of Donald Trump, call him a Nazi, call him a fascist, and all this other stuff, and we think it's okay. But then when those tables are turned and these words are directed at those on the left, all of a sudden there's a problem. And some of these pictures are pretty clever. I'll have to admit, some of these pictures are pretty clever. But when I see a picture of Donald Trump as a chimpanzee, so to speak, doesn't offend me at all. Folks are going to talk about you. If you're a public figure, people are going to have their criticisms about you. They're going to talk about you. So you just might as well get ready, because that's par for the course. And I think the one with Donald Trump embedded in a cracker, I think that one is very clever. I think it is. But I look, I don't care. I don't get up in my feelings when I see things like this. And then people go around, start talking about Donald Trump. Oh, he's a racist, and as if he's the one that put that video up. And from what I hear, he's not the one that put that video up. Now it probably is in bad taste when they do that. I think it's in bad taste no matter whose side does it, but I don't care. I really don't. I don't get all upset and bent out of shape and losing my lunch because, someone is making fun of someone that I support. And a lot of you all don't even know the Obamas. All you know is that Barack was president and his wife was Michelle. That's all you know. And these are the very same people who get up here, they tell you when their person is in office, oh, we got to pray for the president. We got to pray for the president. But when a person they don't like is in office, oh, you don't hear about them talking about prayer. If they do pray for him, they're probably praying that he gets in a car wreck and dies and gets burned to death. They're probably praying for that. But they're not praying for his safety. They're not praying that God will give him the wisdom to run the country. They will not pray. They'll not pray that his eyes will be open to the truth or anything like that. They're not going to do that. Especially if your last name is Trump. They did the same thing with George Bush. They did the same thing with Ronald Reagan. They feel like, oh, we can talk about them. We can talk about them. But when someone talks about your boy, oh, all of a sudden your panties are in a bind. Someone has given you an atomic wedgie, so to speak, because they have desecrated your God. They have blasphemed your God. But the thing about me is I don't make gods of any of them. I like Donald Trump. I think he's a great president, but I don't worship at his feet. People talk about MAGA and how bad MAGA is. All MAGA means is make America great again. And I don't see why people get their panties in a bind when they hear MAGA. But I don't put my trust in the president. I don't put my trust in some government leader. My trust is in the Lord. And I pray to the Lord that he will deal with these government officials. Because the Bible says the heart of the king is in the hands of the Lord. And he turns it every which way that he will. Now, am I saying that it's okay to criticize your leaders? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but you do have freedom of speech. You can criticize them all you want. But when you point your finger at somebody, be aware of the three that point back at you. All right, we see you. We see you criticizing, making fun, making memes, making mockery of someone you don't like. But when someone does it to someone that you do support, how are you going to take it then? And then everyone's like, oh, this is racism. This is racism. People throw racism around so much. Whenever I see a case that looks like it was racist, I take it with a grain of salt now. I don't just, because I don't know if something is racist or not. I have to wait till the evidence comes out. But oh no, the race hustlers, when they see it, white cop arrests black kid, oh, that cop is a racist. All of a sudden, just no sense of reasoning, no logic. no thought process. They just take it at face value. They'll tell you, you know Donald Trump is a racist. No, I don't. Can someone tell me why he was in those pictures with Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali and Jesse Jackson back in the day, but now all of a sudden they can't stand him? Can someone explain that to me? And the thing that really gets me, are Christian people, people who call themselves Christians, who they step right in line with the people in the world in doing the same thing. When the Bible tells us to search out a matter, the Bible tells us to judge righteously. But once we see it on TV, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, I'm going to follow along with the rest of the gang. Everybody else calls him racist, so he must be racist. We're supposed to be the light of the world. We're supposed to be showing people, hey, we're going to do things different. And really, to be honest with you, if Donald Trump would actually come forward and sue people for defamation, he'll probably double his worth right now. He'll probably double what he's worth right now. I mean, it would be probably the largest defamation suit in history. People keep calling him a pedophile. No, it has never been proven that Donald Trump is a pedophile. People out there, oh, he's a pedo. I'm listening to what's his name? Jamal Bryant calls himself a preacher. He ain't no preacher. Talking about you guys support a pedophile. How do you know he's a pedophile? Give us. Well, no, I don't want. No, I want to see the proof that Donald Trump is a pedophile. You know he's a pedophile. No, don't tell me what I know. I know what I know. They twist his words and make him say that he thinks that white supremacists are very fine people, something he didn't say, something he did not imply. And when you tell them the error of their ways, they still want to follow along the error. They still want to follow along the error. And I listen to these people and I'm like, why do you all support this nonsense? Why do you all support this? But don't you talk about their kings, their gods. Heads must roll. Your head's got to roll because you're talking about my God. You're going to be punished for blaspheming my God. And to those of you all who call yourselves Christians and you hear me talking like this, you might want to defend yourself and say, "Well, I don't see Barack Obama as a god." Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You know how I know you look at him as a god is because every time someone says something about him, you get your panties in a bind. See, I don't worship Donald Trump. You can talk about Donald Trump all you want to. You can talk about him all you want to. The only thing I'm going to talk about is how hypocritical people are criticizing Donald Trump, but when someone criticizes the ones that they support, all of a sudden there's a problem. And I listen to these people. I listen to them. And I'm like, y'all got to be kidding me. Y'all really have got to be kidding me. I'm going to pull up something here. Let me pull this up. Hopefully I can play this. Okay. I saw this video. On X. And even though Joy Reid doesn't have her program on MSNBC anymore, she's still bouncing off at the lip, still firing off that tongue of hers. And I was on X, and right here, this woman is a disgrace. She really is, and people just take her at every word. But let me share this. This is on X by Officer Lou. It says here, Joy Reid just went full meltdown mode. Claims Trump and wait a minute. Let me read that again. Joy Reid just went full meltdown mode. She claims Trump and MAGA are parading Nicki Minaj around like a house pet on a leash, cuddling at Trump's feet, all to slap some blackface on the movement and borrow black cultural cool. This woman is a disgrace. Her exact words, quote, "The reason they want her on a leash as their house pet cuddled at Donald Trump's feet, the reason she is the new house pet is because they need black people to give them cultural cool. Black cultural cool has always been a powerful element in the country." She says they'll keep hunting for any blackface to put blackface on MAGA because cool matters. This woman, I'll say the charcoal is poured, but the grill isn't running. This woman is crazy. But let's see if I can get this soundbite here. Make sure I get it. Okay, I don't have it yet. I don't have it.
Most of them probably have never heard one of her songs, and if they have, they're horrified. The reason they want her.
Let me replay this.
There's a reason that the other side is giddy about having Nicki Minaj, a rapper they despise, a rapper they don't respect, a rapper most of them probably have never heard one of her songs, and if they have, they're horrified. The reason they want her on a leash as their house pet, cuddled at Donald Trump's feet, the reason she is the new house pet is because they need, NEEED, black people to give them cultural cool. Black cultural cool has always been a powerful element in the country. Candace Owens was brought into Turning Point USA to do that, to recruit rappers, to recruit Kanye West for a reason. It's not like they like rap music, but they needed Candace to do that. Well, Candace has gone off the field. She's no longer playing ball. So since Candace isn't playing ball, they need a new Candace. So they tried Amber Rose, but Amber Rose is not popular enough with black people, and also says she isn't black. So that didn't really work. Moved on to their next gambit, which is to get the Trinidadian who doesn't care about the killing of Trinidadian fishermen, the rapper who hates the female rapper who hates other female rappers, who hates on women who are more popular than her, Cardi B, people who are better at cultural marketing than her. She'll never be Rihanna. She'll never have a brand like Rihanna. She'll never be Beyonce. She's a 40-something-year-old black female rapper who clearly don't care that much about black people or immigrants, even though she was an undocumented immigrant. She's the perfect foil to replace Candace. Nicki is the new canvas. They wouldn't want her if they didn't need cultural cool. Their problem is she ain't cultural cool no more. So the Barbs, Nikki ain't shit and she ain't saying nothing. And 100 little barbs can't tell me nothing. Y'all mad about it? Be mad about it. But she not gonna work. But they're gonna keep looking for somebody black to be the face, to put blackface on MAGA. And they know that cultural cool matters. That's why they're doing it. I'm done. Fox News. There's a reason that the other side is giddy about.
This woman is ditzy. She's ditzy. She is real ditzy. And you hear about her talking about, she's a Trinidadian, but she's not concerned about Trinidadian fishermen getting murdered. What Trinidadian fishermen have been murdered? And she's trying to make a reference to the the South American drug cartels that like to bring their drugs, fentanyl on the boats, and Donald Trump sent some bombs and dropped the bombs on them and is killing them. And people started saying, "Oh, he's killing fishermen." Now, I don't know if Joy Reid knows where Trinidad is located. Trinidad is in the Caribbean. Most of the people who are being bombed by Donald Trump, they're in the Pacific. And she makes it like, oh, he just sending people over there. He just sending bombs over there, just killing anybody wantonly, just randomly. Oh, there's a fishing boat. Oh, boom. Okay, there we go. This woman is ditzy. And she talking about black is cool. They gotta have they gotta have the cool. This woman.
That the other side.
I don't know why I keep talking about they need to slap blackface on MAGA and said Nicki Minaj is not as popular as Cardi B or what. I don't know about any. I am not a fan of Nicki Minaj. I don't like her music. I think it's raunchy. I really do. I am not a fan of Rihanna. I've heard a couple of Rihanna songs. Yeah, whatever. Cardi B, I don't even know what song she has out. All I know is she's playing in that movie. What is it called? Wicked, with the bald headed African lady who likes men and women. But people like Joy Reid get away with stuff like this because they know they can say the most ridiculous stuff, and their base is going to eat it up. Their base is not going to look is they're not going to do their due research. They're not going to do their due diligence and go on and say, okay, I hear what's being said, but let me see if this is actually true. And that's why people like Joy Reid, they get away with stuff like this, even though they are clearly lying and embellishing the story to fit their narratives. That's all they're doing. And she's saying, well, Nicki Minaj is they have her on a leash. What was she cuddling at Trump's feet? Now maybe Nicki Minaj had an enlightened moment, and she's like, you know what, this ain't the way to do it. Now Joy Reid, she can call Nicki Minaj, she's a blackface and all that and everything. She probably called me that too. It is what it is. But Joy Reid was known for stuff like this. She's always been. This is why she doesn't have a job on MSNBC anymore. Now she's into, I think she's doing a podcast or something like that, if I'm correct. And people just give their ear to her because they're like, oh, when she talks, she knows what she's talking about. This woman is, she got one too many fruit bats in her cave. That's the problem with her. And she knows she has people's ear because, she has that brand name. Everybody knows who she is. And she can say something stupid and people will listen to her. without looking into evidence, without checking the evidence themselves. And I'm sitting there like, man, and sometimes you want to listen to these folks, so because you want to keep hope alive, and then you realize they are the same persons spouting the same old stupid mess that they've always been spouting, and you're like, you know what? Nah. But this is crazy mess right here, you know. And people like Joy Reid, Rashad Ritchie, Roland Martin, Jamal Bryant. We can continue to put Al Sharpton in that. They get away with stuff like this. They make millions of dollars for saying the stupidest stuff that can be allowed. They will sit there and they will talk and see they're over here pointing the finger, calling people like Nicki Minaj a lapdog cuddling up to the feet of Trump. But you all seem like a bunch of lapdogs cuddling up to the feet of Kamala Harris, Barack Obama. I mean, someone says anything about any of these people, they will go off on you, chew your head off, and they think they know that they think they are so intellectual because they went to Harvard or whatever, and they got the degrees posted on their wall, and they can turn around and look at it and say, yeah, that's me right there. But that doesn't make you an expert. Doesn't make you an expert at all. And they think they're so smart because they're on TV and they got a large following, and they think, yeah, I got all these people listening to me. And how many people do you have? I got millions of people listening to me, but you only got 2 people listening to you. Me, I'm the type of person, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care if anyone listens to me at all. I haven't had anyone listening to this show, to my knowledge, for the last several weeks. I don't care. You come on, that's fine. You don't, you don't. I'm still going to put the truth out there. Because numbers don't really mean anything to me. The truth does, but numbers don't mean anything to me. Now, if I had a following of 10 million people, I guess that'll be good. I don't think I'll ever get that high. And just as well, I don't care. I hope I never get 10 million followers. Because if I ever get 10 million followers and I start spouting off with those hard hitting truths, a lot of people, they'll be like, nah, I don't want to listen to him. This man too heavy. He too deep. Every now and then I might see someone on my chat page. That's okay. I'm not belly aching about that. I don't care if you listen or not. I'm just here to share the truth with you. That's all I care about. I don't do this for fame and fortune. If that comes, that's fine. But people like Joy Reid, that's what they do. They come up here that all they are seeking is fame and fortune. That's all they're seeking. All they're seeking is attention, because they know if they get enough attention, they're going to be well off financially. That's what's corrupted our news media. Our news media, they like to embellish stories, put their little spin on it, snip here, cut there, edit there, and they want to give you the news in a nice size in a nice bite-sized package, throw it at you, and they wait for the results. And if the results are the ones they're looking for, their ratings go up, and so do their paychecks. That's all they care about. They're not about giving you the truth. They're in the business of giving you news. And if they have to embellish the news in order for it to get the right reaction, that's what they're going to do. That is what the news media is known for. It's really not a secret. It really isn't. But some people, they just love it when people lie to them for some reason. Please lie to me. Tell me what I want to hear. That's how they do. That's why I really don't trust them that much. And see, people, it's so easy though. We've been conditioned for so many years, even those of us who know the truth about the media. Sometimes when the media says something, we fall right in, and then we have to catch ourselves. But at least you catch yourself. Some people, they don't even catch themselves. They don't care about catching themselves. They just want to go with it. They just want to go with their emotions. They just want to flow with their emotions. They don't want to sit there and say, hey, wait a minute, the current is taking me to the wrong area. I'm going to swim against the current to end up where I should be, not where somebody else wants me to be. It takes personal effort to get to where you should be. It takes very little effort to get where somebody else wants you to be. But these are our friends, the leftists, the wokeists. Get mad at everything, but they mad at nothing. Ashamed of everything. Well, angry at everything, but ashamed of nothing. They get up here, they start saying their mess. They want to see a reaction from you. They get their little awards and their Grammys and their YouTube awards and everything. They don't care about you. They have made mental slaves out of their listeners, because they know their listeners are as dumb as a pound of rocks. A lot of them don't do any research. A lot of them can't even read properly. A lot of them don't use critical thinking skills. And they know they can tell you anything, and hey, you'll believe it. And then when the truth is found out, these people, they don't come back and backtrack and say, you know what, y'all, I was wrong. They never say that. They never do that. They'll just get quiet on it. Then the story dies off and they find something else to infect your mind with. And we think we're getting the truth. We think these people are telling us the truth. They're not telling you anything. They're not telling you anything except what they want you to hear. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about you. You see these people talking about, oh, ICE is arresting, they're arresting the immigrants and sending them back to their country. Y'all don't care about, you all do not care about those immigrants. All you care about is demonizing Donald Trump. That's all you care about. That's why everybody's coming against ICE like this. This is the same ICE that Barack Obama had. But when ICE was deporting illegals during Barack Obama's tenure, nobody said anything. Oh, but now Donald Trump is in office, and now ICE is a member of the Gestapo. They're the fascists. They're the Nazis. They're just like the people who chased after the slaves and brought them back to the plantation. Only thing is, Ain't no one being brought back to the plantation. They're being sent back to their countries. These people are being sent back to their countries. They're kidnapping ordinary citizens. You know, that kid that a couple of weeks ago, they said he was kidnapped and used as bait to draw his parents out when his parents abandoned him. And then when when the kid was reunited with his father, they wanted to show you a picture of the 5-year-old with his dad. And most of you all who saw that picture, you don't realize that that's the dad that abandoned his child because he didn't want to get abducted by ICE. And then went to the mother's house, knocked on the door, and she said she didn't want to take him. And then everybody wants to go around saying, oh, ICE kidnapped that kid and they used him as bait to bring out his parents. No, they didn't. They couldn't just sit there and say, oh, okay, the kid's parents don't want him. Oh, well, tough luck, kid. Guess we're going to put you out on the street. Nah. And then when the truth gets out about it, because the lie has been said for such a long time, even 5 years down the road, people will still believe that this kid was kidnapped and used as bait to get his parents, draw his parents so that they can deport, so that ICE can deport them. And these are the same people always talking about peacefully protesting. They're not peaceful when they protest. Getting in people's faces, calling them all kinds of names, daring them to punch them, things like that. That's not peaceful. I saw some people demonstrating today in downtown Durham, and they were holding up the signs. And as idiotic as those signs were, these people were protesting peacefully. They didn't block the road or anything. They just stood on the corner holding up their asinine signs. Because they got a right to do that. They got a right to do that. But when your rights infringe on the rights of other people, that's the problem. But leftists don't care. That's why they had no problem with with Don Lemonade going into a church with some other protesters and disrupting their services. But a week before that, people had their panties in a bind over one lone man preaching at in the lobby, mind you, Jamal Bryant's church. Had no problem with Don Lemon and the protesters going in and talking about and I'm so sick and tired of Don Lemon talking about the Constitution. Don Lemon does not care about the Constitution. Matter of fact, if I were to go into Don Lemon's house, he probably does have a Constitution, but it's probably in that roll in the bathroom that people use when they sit on the toilet. I'll let you I'll leave that to your imagination what I'm talking about. Talking about First Amendment rights and all this crazy mess. First Amendment doesn't give you the right to disrupt somebody's service. If I were to go on my job, if I were to go on my job on Monday and start, declaring my beliefs or something like that in the middle of the job, because it's my First Amendment rights, then they're going to hand out them little thin sheets of pink paper. All right, you're going to have we'll let you exercise your rights, but it ain't going to be here. See that door you walked into this morning? You can just as easily walk right on out. But we think we can disrupt someone's service. And then when the consequences are met, you want to sit there and talk about you're being persecuted. Talk about how wrong it is. And then that idiot Jamal Bryant. I'm not going to be nice. That idiot Jamal Bryant talking about the man who came into his church preaching in the lobby, and when he putting his picture up, and people saying, FBI, you need to arrest this man. When security came out into the lobby and told that man to leave, he turned around and he left. He didn't disrupt the service. He didn't go in and try to snatch the microphone from the speaker. You could clearly hear the speaker preaching in the sanctuary. This dude was only in the lobby. But if you are a liberal and you're listening to the sound of my voice, you need to check yourself out for hypocrisy, okay? Just like, in the summertime when you go into the woods, they tell you when you come out the woods, you got to check for ticks. Make sure there are no ticks on you. Well, liberals, your proverbial ticks is your hypocrisy. And you need to check yourself. Because one of the main characteristics of someone on the left is their hypocrisy. And folks, usually I have a 2-hour show, but I'm going to cut it right now because I feel like that's all I need to say. Next week, God willing, I should have another show. I don't know what time it's going to be, like I said, because my wife, she goes to work. She's working part-time. She's got a part-time job in addition to her regular job. And a lot of times I had to take her to work and whatever. So I'll let you all know. I'll get her schedule and I'll let you all know. And I'm going to try to do it ahead of time because a lot of times nobody knows when I'm going to have a show until the day of the show. But anyway, you all take care of yourselves out there. Stay warm. Do your due research. Don't just listen to what I have to say and say, "Oh, Vincent's right. Oh, he's speaking that thing. He's really telling." Check out what I'm talking about. Okay, and don't just take my word for it. I'll tell anybody, don't take my word for it. I'm just a person up here. I can slip up. I make mistakes just like anyone else. Okay, so do your due diligence and initiate some research, okay? It's not hard. And it's definitely not hard today because we got Google and search engines and all that stuff. And you can go out there and you say, okay, yeah, let me check this out. So do that. But anyway, you all take care of yourselves. Enjoy the Super Bowl tomorrow. And this is Vincent E. Brown. I'm signing off. And until the next time, I'll see you on The Rebound.
You are listening to WVEB Truthsharks Radio.